An author once said that every person's life is worthy of a novel. Unfortunately, though seldom, when their stories are told, are the most amazing parts revealed. Welcome, friends, to where we give you the entire amazing story. Shyama was only 12 when she was arrested. Officer Jacobson glanced back at her through the rearview mirror in his cruiser. He was amazed. She never cried once, he recalled. Unlike other kids, I believe Shyama liked being taken into protective custody, because it was probably the only time she'd ever felt safe. Shyama was born in Alexandria, Egypt. At age 8, she began working as a maid for Abdel and Amel and their 5 children. Then 2 years later, she was forced to accompany them to California after they'd opened an import-export business. Shyama still remembers listening to her parents negotiate her sale. Finally, they gave me away for $30 a month, she said, and just like that, the next day she left for a new home over 12,000 kilometers away. Shyama entered the United States on an illegal 6-month visa, then was taken to a beautiful home in a gated community. Her bedroom, when she wasn't working, was a corner of the garage with no windows, air conditioning, or heat. Often locked in, her only furnishings were a dirty mattress on the floor, a lamp, and a small table. Shyama kept her clothes in a suitcase in the corner. Her days began at 6 o'clock each morning. Her jobs included cleaning, cooking, vacuuming, and the family's laundry. She seldom finished before midnight. Abdel and Amel often became physical with Shyama, striking her whenever they wished. But Shyama recalls the verbal abuse as being much worse. They called me stupid and a nothing. They made me feel like I was less than them. One day, when Shyama was doing her own laundry, Amel told her not to put her clothes into the family's washing machine again, as they were too shabby. From then on, Shyama had to wash them in a plastic bucket and hang them outside to dry, next to the garbage cans. Shyama never attended school or was allowed to leave the home unaccompanied. She was warned against speaking with anyone. They threatened that the police would take me away, she said. At night, alone, she often would stare into the darkness, fearing she'd be held prisoner forever. And though she never admitted to longing for her family, she did once cry in front of her employers, after she had come down with the flu. They saw me suffering and didn't care, Shyama said. Each day they still expected me to finish my chores. They wouldn't even get medicine for me. 2 years later, on April 9th, social workers visited the home after a caller reported child abuse, citing that a young girl was living in the family's garage. Shyama was upstairs cleaning when Abdel called to her in Arabic, telling her to come downstairs and deny that she worked for them. Shyama rushed into the room. She told the translator that she'd never been to school and had worked for the family for 2 years. Photographs were taken of her stained mattress and folded clothes on the floor, next to a bucket of soapy water. Shyama lived in complete contrast to the rest of the family, Jacobson said. I've seen pets that were treated better than that little girl. Immigration officials offered Shyama a choice to return to Egypt or stay in America and live in a foster home. Shyama said she wished to stay. I wanted to start a new, better life. Chuck and Jenny, parents of 2 daughters and a son, had just moved into a new 4-bedroom house in Orange County. They decided they had room for another child. At our first meeting, we just clicked, Chuck said. Shyama had the same sense of humor as me. Shyama asked only 2 questions of her prospective parents. What were the house rules, and what chores was she expected to do? Everything is negotiable, Chuck answered. Shyama immediately knew that she had found her new family. At Abdel and Amel's sentencing hearing, they pleaded for mercy. Amel told the judge, if Shyama had just said, please don't make me do this, I would have been very happy to change my actions. Unable to contain her outrage, Shyama addressed the court. Amel is a grown woman. She knows right from wrong. Where was her love? Why wasn't I treated like a human being? I felt like I was nothing to them. What they did to me will scar me for life. Every year, as many as 18,000 children are brought into the United States and exploited for sex or labor. Unfortunately, seldom do their stories end as happily as Shyama Hall's amazing story. Please, if you enjoyed this story, take a moment to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. And also, leave us a comment telling us how you feel about the courage of this amazing young lady. We'd certainly love to hear from you.